in this problem, I want to find the least common denominator. And I'm only going to find the common denominator, and I'm not going to add or subtract yet, because a lot of people have problems just finding the common denominator. So I have these two fractions, 2 over x squared minus 25 and 1 over 5x plus 25. So before I can find my common denominators, I need to make sure that each denominator is in factor form. So I will have to factor first. So the first one is the difference of two squares. I'm going to move over. So here I have x plus 5, x minus 5. And it doesn't matter if you write the minus or the plus first. It still works out to be the same. Here I look at the two terms that I have, and I know that 5 is common for both. So I'll take out a 5, divide out a 5 into 5x leaves me with the x, and then 5 into 25 leaves me with 5. Now there's a couple of ways that you can find your common denominator. So the first thing I like to do, I always like to take everything in my first denominator and start my LCD. We call the least common denominator LCD for short. So I'm going to take everything that's in my first fraction and include that into my LCD. Now what I do next is I look at my second fraction, and things that I already have in my first one, I do not rewrite that, so it's good. So if I have an I have an x plus 5 here and an x plus 5 in my second one, so I don't need to write it because it's common for both. And then I have an x minus 5. This one doesn't have it, but it's okay because everything in my first denominator is this, so that's already included in my LCD. And then I have this 5 here. It's not in my first one, so it's missing from my first denominator or my first part of my LCD, so I just include a 5. And I like to write numbers in the front of parentheses, so then my LCD is 5, the quantity of x plus 5, and the quantity of x minus 5. So this is how you find your LCD. You factor everything first, make sure everything is in factor form, and then you start with your first denominator. That's your first part of your LCD, and then you compare it to the second one. Everything that's included already, you leave that alone, and anything that's not in your first one, that's in your second one, you just write it as part of your LCD, and then you have your LCD. Okay, 1.